Hi everyone, it's Jill Lancet and I'm here on a Sunday to give you guys a free card making tutorial. Now, let me just tell you this. This is not my original idea. I have tweaked it ever so slightly, but this is from Barry from Mitosu Crafts. I will put all the details below, okay, as per normal. So, hi, as I said, it's Sunday. How was your weekend? Did you have a good weekend? I think we'll just get started. Now, I'm using some products. They're in the last chance products section in my Australian store, okay, jilllancet.stampinup.net. I'm not sure about any other market. You would have to check that. Chances are you already have this because it was such a beautiful set. Now it's called the Regal Flora, and we're using a couple of stamps from this. We're using Wishing I Were There to Give You a Hug and Sending Love Your Way. I'm also using this little flower die, little leaf die from the Country Flowers die set. And I think we'll just get going because this could be a little bit long and convoluted. I do not have a card to share with you. So yeah, if ever there was a time to cross your fingers, yeah, this is it. Okay, so now I have used Barry's measurements. Now these will be universal, whether you are using metric or US letter size. This card is going to be the same size in both areas, okay? So we're using the Deckled Circles dies. So I'll show you those in just a tick, and I'll show you what we've got going here, okay? So we have a card base. Now it is a bit different to what we in Australia or the A4 market would normally use. It is 4 1/8 by 11 inches, and it is scored at 5.5. Now I've already taken the liberty of just rounding 2 corners. This top corner, top right corner, bottom left corner. All will become obvious in just a minute. Hang on. Sorry. You guys know that I have a glucose meter and it goes off every now and again, so please forgive, but you know, that's my health and it's important. I need to check it. Okay, so let's go back. So we've got our card base. It is 5.5 inches by 4 1/8. 4 1/8. Now this is a bit different, okay? And we've actually started with an 11-inch piece and scored it at 5.5. Sorry about that, guys. I've got a piece of the beautiful paper which is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Now look, I know that you guys that use metric, you used to use imperial, so these imperial measurements aren't that foreign to you, and I am sure that you would have a rule that has both on there. In any case, your paper trimmer does have both measurements, okay? So we've got that, and we have a piece of basic white that is the same size, so it's 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So we've got those two. Okay, now I have cut out using the number 7 from the outside, number 7 Deckled Circle. Hang on, I've got them here as well as everything else. Okay, so number 7 out of the basic black, and number 8, which is the smaller size, the next smaller size out of the same gorgeous paper. They are both of those Deckled Circles, okay? So there they are there. I'm going to be using some of this beautiful Blackberry Bliss and gold ribbon. I'm using the BOUGH punch. I'm using some Blackberry Bliss ink, but I've got two very important pieces of cardstock here now that I'm going to give you the measurements of. Okay, now that put me off, so yeah. Right, let's have a look at these. Now, this one is as per Barry's directions. Now, it is a piece of basic black, and it is 9 1/4 inches long by 1.5, no, 9 3/4, 9 3/4 of an inch long, and it is 1.5 inches wide. Okay, now we're going to score that at 3/4 of an inch. So score it, I've already done this, 3/4 of an inch. Move this end along in your paper trimmer to 5 1/8, score 7, score 7 1/2, score, and then finally 9 1/4. Okay, now I will put those measurements down below, but I'll just leave that there for a second. 9 3/4 by 1 1/2, scored at 3/4 of an inch, 5 1/4 inches, 7 inches, 7 1/2 inches, and 9 1/4. That is as per Barry's instructions. So if you pop over to Barry's YouTube channel, that will be exactly the same. All of these will be exactly the same. Okay, I think. I'm not sure about these other bits, but these bits most certainly. Now this bit here I tweaked. Now Barry had this like as long as the width of the card, and I kind of wanted this to be a little bit invisible. So I have made this piece 2 inches by 2 3/4 inches. Then I've turned it and I've scored it at 1/2 inch. And this is important. It's important to turn this around and do it again at 1/2 inch. It gives you a little bit of leeway, and you'll see why very, very shortly. Okay, so I've got all of my bits and pieces. I also have a couple of bits of scrap, basic white scrap, that we're going to use for the sentiments. So I think we'll just get going. Now I'll go back and have a look at that, but it won't make any sense until we get to putting this together. Okay, so we'll just pop everything there and we'll start. So what I want to do is I want to actually, I'm stamping, I'm using, that is going to be for the back of the card, and I'm going to leave that blank because I don't know what I want to write on that yet. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp a sentiment, and it's this one here, and we're using this die also from that Regal Flora set. So I want to stamp this in Blackberry Bliss, and I'm going to do it on this bit of scrap here. So just bear with me, and I'll just make sure this has got ink everywhere. It has got ink everywhere. Now I'm just going to stamp this basically on the bottom half of this scrap. Okay, so it doesn't have to be 100% straight because I can alter the die. Okay, there we go. So just give that a second for the ink to connect. And beautiful. Now the other one is this stamp here that says sending love your way. So I'm going to pop that on this scrap here. Now I do want this straight, so that could be an issue. Thank goodness there's two sides to every piece of paper. That's all I can say. Now just let me stand up, I think, to just have a look at this. Yeah, because I need to be kind of over it. Let's have a look. I think that looks straight. There we go. Beautiful. Straight enough. Now, that's our stamping done. If I were to stamp a greeting for the back, I would do that now. So I'm going to pop this out of the way. Otherwise, yep, I'm going to be in a bit of a mess. Okay, so now I want to die cut this piece out. So I'm going to take a bit of tape. I've just got a bit of washi tape here. And this will actually cut out 2 pieces. So I'm just going to line this up to my best ability. And I'm going to run that through my, I wonder if that'll fit through there. Let me have a look. No, it's a bit big. So I'll pop it through my electronic one. Just bear with me for 2 seconds. I just want to get all of this stuff done, and then we can go straight through with making of the card, because that is a little bit complex. Okay, there we go. Now I've done all the other die cutting and indeed all the punching beforehand, because I know there's a bit of, you know, complicated business here. So there we go. Now that cuts out that size, and then it also gives me a frame. So if I wanted to put these 2 together and make this a bigger panel, I could just glue them together. But I'm happy with that one there, because I'm actually going to be putting some ribbon and things on this card. So yeah. Okay, so that's that die cutting done. Now with this, now there's a bit of a lip on there, so I'm going to take my bone fold. I don't know if you can see it, but sometimes when you cut it, you get this bit of a lip. So I just like to give that a flatten down with my bone folder. And yeah, no issues. But what I want to do is I wanted to sort of mimic this die cut. So I've got a corner puncher, and it actually punches a rather wideish sort of corner. So I'm just popping that in the top corner, and I'm going to punch that, and then I'm going to pop it in the bottom corner and punch that. So now I've got, it looks very similar. So I thought, seeing as I've done the card like that, I'm going to do the paper. So I'm just doing the paper like that. And I'm going to do the white piece that I will stick on the back. Now that just ties everything in nicely, okay? So we can pop this all together now. Now there is a bit of a trick to this. Okay, so I'm going to take all of the post-it bits off there. And I kind of simplified the way to put this together too. Look, no offense to Barry. Barry has made a beautiful card, and I would not be able to show this to you had he not made it. But my brain works differently to a lot of people's brains. Okay, so I've got all of my elements here now. I've got my card, I've got my front and back panels, I've got my 2 deckled circles, I've got my 2 sentiments and the mechanism. Now let me show you how the mechanism works. Okay, so we have scored top and bottom at 1/2 an inch. Okay, so we're going to turn that and we're going to give that a really good burnish. Okay, so it's effectively like a little belt buckle. Now, as I said, I haven't made this, so I'm hoping that this works. So we've got this little piece here, and that's how it's going on the card. Now with our long piece, we're going to burnish these which way are we going? We're going all the same way, okay? So we're going under with this piece on the end. Okay, I'll do it this way. So under, I'm going to give that a really good burnish. Then I'm going to go over like this, and it won't matter if you've done this around the wrong way. It won't matter because you can obviously turn it back, but you do want them to line up. So yeah, sounds like I've got church music playing. I do believe it's BOUGH, and sometimes his music, in my opinion, can be a little bit heavy, but there you go. So I've got all of these, I've turned them all, I've folded them all the same way, okay? So effectively this is going to go and be our pop-up slider mechanism. Now Barry may or may not be able to explain this just a little bit better than I can, but he has done his slightly different to mine, okay? So now I'm going to open my card. Now I want those obviously there. I'm going to open my card. Now I'm going to take my two pieces, and the first thing I want to do is I want to glue this tab to the edge of this piece. Now I want to line it up. It's a little bit wider, but there's a reason for that, okay? So I'm going to pop a bit of glue. Now I will use liquid glue because I want this to be strong, okay? And in this instance, I can give this a bit of a wiggle. Now, don't put too much glue, okay? You just want enough to give this some really good hold. So I've got my tabs top and bottom. So they're my folded tabs, top and bottom. And I'm going to line this up just like this. Oh, perhaps if I move that out of the way, you might see it a bit better. Okay, so I'm going to just line that up. Now, I want that fold, I want it just on the fold, okay? So when I turn this around, it is even with that. So I'm going to give that a nice burnish. So that is on the short end in as far as all of the smaller scores. This I'm calling the long end because there's a long space between scores. So I've glued this on here so that I can turn this over like that. Okay? Now, this is where it gets a little bit different to Barry's, to the way Barry has put this together. So I won't glue it, I'll do it a couple of times before I actually glue it. So I've taken my 1/2 inch tab and I've glued it to this side of this piece. I have my 2 tabs top and bottom on this piece here. So effectively when they fold over, you won't even know it's there, okay? So that's what that looks like. Okay, it folds back on itself. Now I'm going to fold it in half, basically, so that this is now over the top of that, and I'm laying this on my card. Now this will be a bit tricky to see, but just in front of that score line, I've got my tab open, and I'm laying this all flat on the card. Now it's at this point I want to line this up so that it is centered, top and bottom, and you've got a small space there, a small space there. Now if you put this right on the fold, on the score line, it won't work. It will glue oddly. So you want to just move that back away from, there's my score line. I'm running my fingernail down my score line, and there is the edge. So I'm going to pop a bit of glue just on this tab. Now I'll do it away from there so you can see what I'm doing. Obviously, if you've got this, you know, So I'm laying that down. I've got it away from the score line. I've got it centered top and bottom, and I'm going to close the card. Okay, now I will, from the back, I will just give this a bit of a burnish, and then you will see how this has glued on. Okay, so we've got that piece is glued to the back of the card front. Remember, we laid it down and we glued it. So we've got this funny little bit here now, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it back on itself. I'm going to pop a bit of glue on these two tabs, okay? So if I just lay that flat, you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to pop a bit of glue. Actually, I might just put some paper behind that just so that you can see. Don't go any further than the score line. Now you can of course use tear and tape. If that will be easier for you, tear and tape is the way to go, okay? So top and bottom. And now I am going to turn this over. This is the back of the front of the card. I'm going to wrap these two pieces around, and I'm going to close the card. Now, I'm going to give that a second, and then I will open it up and show you what we have done. Okay. Now, look, go back, rewind. If you didn't quite get this, go back and rewind. Okay. So here we have the front of our card, and when we open it, this little pop-up piece is going to pop up. Oh, now I've got a bit of glue on there. Crikey. Hang on. Hold your horses, honey. I don't want any glue on here because I don't want this to glue the card shut. Okay. So there we go. There's our little piece in there. Now, I know it's hard to see because it's black, but there's the little buckle piece that we wrapped it around and we've glued it. This is the piece that is attached to the card front, and that is what makes the pop-up pop up. Now, look, guys, if you don't understand, go and have a look at Barry's. His way might make more sense to you than mine, but his little buckle actually goes the full width of the card, and I wanted this to look like it was floating. Okay, so I just tweaked it. So now we can decorate this. So I'm going to actually start with the card front. Now I'm going to match up, obviously, that corner and that corner. So I want to put some ribbon on here first though. So I'm just going to take a length of ribbon and I will attach that. I think just to the bottom third. Look, I haven't put this together. This is all still in my head. Okay, yep, okay, we'll do that. So I'm just going to put a glue dot or something. Yep, glue dot. I just pop a glue dot on the back of this ribbon and pop that down about there. There we go, look at that. Gorgeous. Now I can flip this over and put some seal on it. Now I like the Seal Plus for ribbons. So if I just put, if I just put some there like that and some there like that, I will actually capture that. So I'll just turn that over, make sure it's straight. The rest of this is quick. The cutting out of it might be a bit of it. I mean, it's straight strips, but then you've got to score it. But there we go, look at that. Absolutely beautiful. So that's going on there, and I will actually put a bit of liquid glue on that. That way I can give it a bit of a wriggle if I need to. This paper is beautiful. It's quite dramatic. I love the fact that this one has a black background, so it matches really nicely with the card base. You could do this for male, female. You could put any sentiment. You could put any image on the inside of the card. It's one of those cards that is really going to be one of those, you're going to go back to this again and again. So we've done that. I am going to now pop this up onto dimensionals. And where are they? Let me have a look. I will put some on the back, and then we can start decorating this. And I'm going to make a bow for the front of the card. And I do want to put some of these. Now, these are I cut them out in gold foil. I just thought I'd like to put a couple behind it. Just like that. And I've also got these ones from the BOUGH punch that I can also pop up if I want. I don't think it needs it. I don't think it needs it. I think that's going to be plenty. Right, so we'll take these off. Hang on. Take those off. Now this is a silicone mat, and if you've got the Stampin' Up! Silicone mat, you can do this as well. So I'm going to lay that there, and then I'm going to see how I want it. Sometimes this is just as easy. So I've got a dimensional there. So I think I'll just pop that there like that. And then, oop. There we go. And then with this one, I will do the same thing. I'll just pop that there like that. Now, if I wanted to add the taller ones behind that, of course I can. But I don't think it needs it. Now, they're just barely hanging on by the skin of their teeth. So I am actually going to pop a bit of glue behind these. Just behind those couple that are hidden. Now that's going on the front, just like this. And I think that looks great. Now that's going to fit in a standard envelope, no problems whatsoever. So we will make a little bow, and we'll pop that on somewhere. Just bear with me while I do this. And then we'll do the inside of the card as well. This is gorgeous ribbon. I love the little pop of gold on this. Yeah, I really do. So I don't want a giant bow. I just want, you know, just like that. So let's just chop that off there, and we'll have a look at that. Now I can pop it over there, I can pop it over there, I can pop it in the middle. I think I'll pop it in the middle. Yeah, I think I'll pop this one in the middle. I'll trim these off just like that. And then we'll pop another glue dot behind that. Oops, sorry guys. Sorry. I often forget I've got to work to a camera. So I want to pop that in the middle. So it's round about there. That looks right. And then I got these little hearts. Look, I will put all of the details below, okay? So they come in 3 different sizes. So, I mean, this is all about love and hugs. So yeah, let's pop a couple of hugs. Now, any schmutz, you stick a heart over that, okay? I don't, it doesn't look like I've got any, so anyway, we'll pop a small one up there, like that. We'll pop a large one, down here. And they don't have to be straight, guys, honestly. And I think we might even put a medium one here. What do you think about that? Got lots of gold, lots of beautiful things happening. That's the front of the card. So now we can get on and do the center of the card. Now this is our pop-up part, okay? So I have my little sentiment. I have my two deckled circles. So I'm going to glue these two together. Rather a complicated looking card, but when you break it down to the way we've done it, yeah, not so much. You can do anything on the inside of this card. You can do a square. You can actually, like, I think Barry cut out the beautiful oranges. He actually cut out the orange shapes and popped that on there. But you can do whatever you like. So I'm doing that. I'm going to pop this across the center. Now, I might put the circle on first. That way I know how much room I have to play with. So I'm actually going to put just glue on this little area here. Now, effectively, I want this thing to look like it's floating. Okay, so I'm going to put glue all the way down this. Now, that might look like a lot of glue, but hopefully it's not. So I just want to center that up on here. Okay, so I can actually lay that down and do it from the inside or do it from the outside. So if I do it from while it's here, I can pop my finger under there and just glue that down flat. Now I want that to set up for just a minute, okay? Okay, now I want to pop this on here like this. So I will just glue that down as well. Now I'm just putting glue in the middle of this. Just put a bit of glue in the middle because I want to put more of those gorgeous leaves behind there. Now, of course, you could put this together before you actually put it on there. So let's have a look. So I can put some glue on the back of these. I just want a little bit of glue. I'm going to pop that under there like that. Now when that closes, I just want to make sure that that stays within the confines of the card. So I'm going to move that over just a little bit. Okay, you can't see it from the outside. And I'm going to do the same thing. So I've punched out the BOUGH ones and it turns out I didn't use them, but you know what? It doesn't matter because they're so gorgeous. I will use them on something else. So that can go under there like that. Yep, you could even, yep. So just pop a bit of glue on the back of this and lift that up and pop that under there like that. There we go. So that's going to close perfectly. We've got this beautiful pop-up piece in the middle that looks like it's floating, and I will actually pop some hearts on here as well. So again, we'll pop a little one down here and a medium one up here. What do you think about that? Barry, thank you so much. Now I'm going to pop my little piece on the back. Now obviously if I wanted to stamp something on there, I could do that right now. Back to front, back to front. But I will actually just leave that blank because I'm not sure what I'm going to send that for. So there we go. What a gorgeous card. What do you think about that? I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Now I could have put the bow a bit further over, I think. Maybe I can, if I can get that glue dot off. I might just pop the bow over here. It just seems to be more balanced if it's over there. What do you think? What do you think about that? That beautiful paper in the black background. The black background adds a bit of drama to this. And then you've got your pop-up floating piece, which I've just put glue all over the place, with your other message inside. Now it looks all the world like it's floating. So yeah, you can do anything. You've got your space on the back for a message. I think that's crooked as a dog's hind leg, but you know, what am I going to say? I think it looks lovely. Let me know in the comments. Pop over to Barry and Jay's YouTube channel. It's called Mitosu Crafts. Mitosu. I believe that's named after their cats. Parts of each of their cats' names. So yeah, really pop over there, give them some love, have a look at the difference between their card and my take on their beautiful card. And yeah, let me know. Thank you so much for spending yet another Sunday evening with me. Yeah, look, enjoy what's left of your weekend, and I'll see you guys all on Thursday. Don't forget to check out the Last Chance products in my online store. If you are not in Australia, check out your market and see if these products are still available. I will have all the details below as per usual. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Take care, stay safe, stay kind, everybody. And hooray. Thank you. Bye.